Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zheng here, and today I am going to be doing my very first in-game VGC best of 3 set against none other than Wolfe Glick. Wolfe is a man who needs no introduction, but I'm still going to give him one. He, of course, is the 2016 World Champion, multiple-time regional, national, and international champion, one of the largest content creators in Pokemon on YouTube, and really just one of my closest friends both inside and outside of Pokemon. Wildly enough, Wolfe and I have actually not battled against each other yet in Gen 9 at all, and so, one, I'm just excited to play him, and two, like I mentioned, I haven't done a single best of 3 set yet, and so this is going to be really valuable knowledge and information for me. I think, especially at the start of a new generation, there's just so much to learn, and best of 3s operate completely differently from best of 1s, so I'm eager to, learn about how Terra really functions in best of 3, and information management in this generation relative to previous ones. And so, I'll be using a tournament-winning team built by an Italian player called Fede, who recently won the largest online tournament in Scarlet and Violet for VGC to date. It's a really consistent team. There's a pace and rental down in the description below if you want to try it out yourselves, and I'll do a quick breakdown of the team as well. But yeah, he did a team report on this, so I've linked all the good stuff down in the description below. So thank you so much as always for watching. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Aaron, and I do competitive VGC content all the time, and I focus on battles and guides as well. And so if that's something you're interested in, would really mean a lot if you consider leaving a like on the video or subscribing. But thank you so much as always for watching, and I'm just so excited to battle Wolfe for the first time here in Scarlet and Violet. So I wanted to just briefly cover the team that I'll be using for this exhibition battle. It was built by a player called Fede, who is easily one of the best players in Scarlet and Violet right now. He won a huge 450 plus person online grassroots tournament with this exact team, and also won a pre-series 1 VGC tournament in Scarlet and Violet as well with over 100 players. So definitely one of the top players to watch out for right now. I've linked his Twitter and YouTube down in the description below. Please go check him out. And so huge thank you to him for building and sharing this team. And question of the day, I want to know who else you'd like to see me battle in these exhibition battles. I actually haven't tried this team yet, but I wanted to give it a shot here in this best of 3 because I think it has a ton of tools at its disposal, which I think is awesome. And so the general idea behind the team is that you have Murkrow to enable Tailwind, and you just have a lot of strong attackers in Golden Go, Life Orb Hydreigon, Assault Vest Dragonite, Ceruledge, and Gengar. Murkrow is a Pokemon that doesn't really need an introduction at this point in VGC for Scarlet and Violet, but the general idea is, once again, set up Tailwind, you have Haze to really get rid of setup boosts, especially from things like Dondozo, for example, and you have general utility with Taunt. Ghost Terra here exists to bypass fakeouts, and this is a bulky Eviolite set. And so Murkrow is really valuable both as a lead option to set up Tailwind, but also potentially in the back if you're going up against those setup-oriented teams like Dondozo, for example. You've got Choice Specs Hydreigon here. This is a fairly complex EV spread distributed between special attack, speed, defense, and HP. But the idea is to maximize, your damage output, speed, so that after Tailwind you essentially outspeed everything, and a decent amount in bulk here as well. And so, yeah, Choice Specs Golden Go just really hits super hard. And there's really nice synergy with this team because you've got Golden Go and Hydreigon. Draco Meteor and the Make It Rain will lower your special attack stats. And so Murkrow's Haze not only gets rid of opposing boosts, but also gets rid of your stat drops. And so you can synergize really nicely where it's like, okay, Murkrow, Golden Go, just Make It Rain, and then Murkrow just gets rid of those special attack drops, so Golden Go has like a full powered Make It Rain the next turn. Hydreigon's the next Pokemon to talk about here. This is just one of the strongest attackers in the game right now. Sometimes you'll see Flash Cannon with Fire or Steel Terra, but instead this is Fire Terra with Heat Wave. So this gives you a resistance into Fairy, which is obviously valuable, and means that you actually have some really significant damage with Heat Wave, and that spread type damage, which is always valuable. To round out the team, you've got Assault Vest Dragonite. Dragonite's interesting. I think it's actually fallen off a good amount since the beginning of Scarlet and Violet because this was normally paired with Shampoo, which would drop your opponent's defenses. And this is an Assault Vest set, not a Choice Band set. And so you do a little bit less damage, but it's just a little bit bulkier and you have general good utility. At the end of the day, normal Terra boosted extreme speed still really hits like a truck, right? Even without a Choice Band or a Shampoo. It just means that you might not necessarily be picking up one-hit knockouts that you would otherwise be getting. But yeah, you've got general utility here, Low Kick and Earthquake for some coverage as well. The final two Pokemon on this team I think are really cool. This is actually a triple Ghost team, which is wild, right? You've got the Golden Go, the Ceruledge, and the Gengar. So Ceruledge is really neat. We've seen a lot of Armarouge so far, but Ceruledge I think also has a very nice place in the meta. First of all, Flash Fire is an incredible ability. It gives you immunity to those fire-type Pokemon like Torkoal and Arcanine, for example, or their fire-type attacks, I should say. And this is a really bulky set, and so the idea is that you generally try to set up with this, bulk up, and then you have Sustain and Healing via the Bitter Blade, which is the signature attack, which allows you to heal back 50% of the damage that you dealt. Bitter Blade and Shadow Sneak is just nice coverage, and this is actually Terra Grass as well with Terra Blast, and so it gives you a nice matchup into Water-type Pokemon, for example. Clear Amulet exists here so that you're not really affected by Intimidate. Otherwise, for example, Arcanine could be annoying. And yeah, the general idea is that this Pokemon can stay on the field for a long time, continue to heal itself back up, and priority, you know, boosted Shadow Sneak, same type attack bonus, can really hit for a surprising amount of damage as well. The last Pokemon here is Gengar. Gengar is just a fun utility Pokemon. First of all, it actually does, you know, a lot of damage. Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball gives you really good coverage, and Shadow Ball, especially in a format where Golden Go exists, I think is pretty awesome. It often forces those Golden Goals to consider going for a Terra defensively, just so that they don't just get KO'd by Gengar, for example. As you'll notice, by the way, this team is really good into fighting against opposing Golden Goals. You've got your Specs Golden Go here, your Life Orb Hydreigon with Dark Pulse, Ceruledge with really good coverage, and Gengar. And Golden Go is just one of the most popular Pokemon in the format right now, and so this team's like, well, I'm going to try to counter it while also maximizing the value of my own Golden Go. The Gengar here has Icy Wind and Hypnosis, so Icy Wind gives you another means of speed control, which is pretty sweet. And Hypnosis is not exactly a consistent move, but the thing is, it can often just win you the game when you don't really have a better option to go for. So, like, it's not a move you want to rely on too much, but it's something that you can think about, okay, if I hit it, it's a 60% chance, and it just propels me to victory. That's definitely, you know, something worth considering. And so you have just really good utility across the board here. Flying Terra exists to kind of mimic the old Levitate Gengar, and so you can synergize it nicely, obviously, with something like the Dragonite here with Earthquake, for example. And so, yeah, generally the idea is to try to angle for good speed control, whether it be Icy Wind from Gengar or Murkrow's Tailwind. A lot of damage output from Golden Go, Hydreigon, Dragonite, and Ceruledge. And Ceruledge can be a really potent sweeper if positioned correctly, thanks to Bulk Up as well. So, that's it for the team. Let's start this battle. Oh boy, okay. Ceruledge, Sylveon, Garchomp, Orthworm, the Quaquaval, and the Kilowattrel. So, what do we want to watch out for here? We both have Tailwind, which is pretty interesting. Really, Quaquaval is just a Pokemon I have like no experience fighting against, so I think that'll be pretty fun. Had to be pretty careful about Orthworm as well after losing against that previously. So I could obviously just use Murkrow to set up Tailwind. I think like Terras are just going to be so huge in this one, honestly. Bulk Up Ceruledge here is pretty cool. Golden Go can obviously just spam, make it rain. I mean, I feel like I should be setting up my own Tailwind here. Tailwind. Could just go with Hydreigon here. Gengar's interesting as well. We have so many options. I think I'm actually going to go with Murkrow Gengar. Ceruledge. And Hydreigon. Honestly, I feel like I can bring all of my Pokemon here. I'm not sure what the best ones are, so we're just going to try things out here. But yeah, I'd say the main Pokemon I'm really interested in is, of course, the Quaquaval. It's just something that I have very little experience fighting against. Like, not something that's been used nearly as much as its counterparts, I would say, in VGC so far. It's going to be Kilowattrel and Sylveon. Okay. So Gengar's in a decent matchup here. We could pretty easily taunt as well, but I think it's likely maybe Kilowattrel here turn 1 just attacks and doesn't Tailwind. Sylveon could Terra here. I'm not sure what kind of Terra it is, though. Pretty easy to just Tailwind. Tailwind Sludge Bomb is one play we could make, for example. I don't know if we'll even get KO'd by Sylveon here. There's a potential switch out into Orthworm. I don't really need Tailwind up that much myself. Okay, I'm down to just Tailwind Sludge Bomb turn 1. No protects, no switches, no Terras. Okay. Well, that works for me, I guess. Get Sludge Bomb off here. Good damage on a Sylveon. Gets a poison as well, which is fairly lucky. Kilowattrel just opts for Thunderbolt. Yep. Good damage. And then just Hyper Voice. Okay. Yeah. I don't think Taunt would have really accomplished too much for me there other than denying them Tailwind, but now I can just pressure and double up onto Kilowattrel potentially this next turn. Could go for Hypnosis, which is interesting, but That honestly might be my best bet here, just because, like, I can easily knock out Sylveon with whatever I have in the back. One interesting option is also to just go into Ceruledge and start bulk upping with this thing. Hydreigon's the other option. I think it's going to be Sash on the Kilowattrel. I could Terra Fire here, and then, like, Icy Wind, Dark Pulse into Kilowattrel. That doesn't seem too bad, actually. Because then Terra would mean... but I'm really tempted to bulk up here. Okay, I'm actually going to bring Ceruledge out. This turn's interesting because you would feel like Sylveon might want to consider protecting. Yeah, bulk up does feel really strong. The thing is, Kilowattrel here could just go for like an Air Slash onto Ceruledge. So I could Terra here defensively. Oh, sorry, no. I'm not Grass right now. We don't want to Terra. Bulk up. I wonder if Icy Wind KO Sylveon is the question. I think Sylveon doesn't protect here, actually. So I could also go for, like, Hypnosis. Shadow Sneak here. Into Hypnosis. Oh, Kilowattrel protects. Okay. Well, that's fine for now. We'll get the KO here. We have Tailwind up right now, so we have a speed advantage. We also have Confirmed Protect. No Terras yet. Yeah, if I had gone for Bulk Up and then Sludge Bomb into Sylveon, that would have been really awesome. The other thing to worry about, by the way, is if I Icy Wind, I activate Competitive on Kilowattrel, so I have to be very careful about that. Okay, he's going to bring in his own Ceruledge, so Battle of the Ceruledges here, which is cool. I have the speed advantage right now. I do really want to bulk up here, I think. I'm thinking bulk up and then switch out into Hydreigon, because I would expect Shadow Sneak to go into the Gengar slot, potentially. Bulk up. Bulk up and pivot out. Seems okay. I'm curious who Ceruledge is going to be faster here between us. Okay, goes for Shadow Sneak, good. Hydreigon doesn't take much. We'll get bulk up off. Tailwind goes up. Okay. Wonder if it's Wind Power here. No. So, competitive. 3 turns of Tailwind. Last turn on my end. Bitter Blade's going to be really nice at this point. I don't know the Terra on Ceruledge here, which is what makes this a little bit scary. Like, I'm not opposed to just going for Bitter Blade here into Kilowattrel. And then a Dark Pulse here. Ceruledge protects, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to have the speed advantage after this turn. Ooh, Air Slash actually missed this, which is really lucky for me. Wouldn't have KO'd Hydreigon, but would have done a sizable amount. So it confirms Kilowattrel's moveset as well. Tailwind, Air Slash, Protect, and Thunderbolt with Focus Sash. Okay. Yep, so there's the Focus Sash. I mainly am wondering about the rest of Ceruledge's moveset. We've seen Shadow Sneak, we've seen Protect. Are we going to see a Terra this turn? Also, what is the final Pokemon? It's likely going to be physical, right? I don't think it's going to be Orthworm. Could be Garchomp, Quaquaval. I feel like I should be protecting Hydreigon here, maybe. But also, like, can this even pressure me with the one-hit knockout? I'm actually thinking, like, Shadow Sneak here, and then actually just go for Draco Meteor to try to pick up the one-hit knockout onto this, and cover for other potential Terras. Kilowattrel protects, okay. That's fine. And it's just Shadow Sneak coming off, okay. That's not too bad for me, right? I should get the knockout with Draco here, then. I hope. Okay, Draco Meteor. Ooh, Cyberledge actually survives. That's impressive. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to cover for this going for a potential Terra. Now I can just Shadow Sneak into Kilowattrel. I could see Kilowattrel switching out. I don't mind a Shadow Sneak and a Draco into this slot, I think. I'll cover for any switch out options. Not getting that KO is a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, Cyberledge just goes for the Protect. That's fine, so we can Shadow Sneak to finish that off. This is why I really prioritized getting that bulk up off earlier, by the way, because that defense and attack boost goes such a long way. So now I can probably just Shadow Sneak into the Cyberledge. Neither of us have Terra'd, which is really interesting here. I could also consider going for a Terra with my Cyberledge. I think what it really boils down to is what is the final Pokemon in the back? Gengar, Orthworm, Quaquaval. It's going to be Quaquaval. Okay. I definitely have to worry about this just sweeping me, right? But like, they could Shadow Sneak here. I don't know who's going to be faster between the Shadow Sneaks. This is Terra Grass. So, like, what I could do here is just Terra Blast. I also don't hate the idea of going for Terra. Get rid of my weakness. Shadow Sneak. KO this. Switch out into Gengar. I just don't know anything about Quaquaval here, so I'm kind of playing in the blind. But yeah, if I had gone for Dark Pulse over Draco earlier, this game probably would have been won, because Quaquaval I don't think could have like done a 1v3. So it's gonna go for a Terra here. Yeah. I would expect maybe Water Terra? Flying Terra. Okay. Well, that makes Icy Wind super effective against this. Now, it also means that, yeah, the Grass Bitter Blade, or sorry, the Grass Terra Blast wouldn't have been super effective. So, it's good to confirm. Now I can actually Bitter Blade into that slot. Oh, but I wonder if he's Terra Blasting into me. That'd be pretty sick, right? Okay, it goes for the double. Yeah, that makes sense. That's the right play. Because if you actually get the double there, then you can Shadow Sneak into Gengar the subsequent turn, because I can't Protect there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he actually went for Terra Blast onto me here, which is be really cool to see. It's just Brave Bird. Okay. Actually, you don't need Terra Blast if you have Brave Bird, right? So my Terra actually worked against me there because it turned that into a super effective hit. But I'm not sure it can pull off the 2v1 comeback right now. It's going to take a fair amount of recoil as well. My Terra there was mainly to take less damage from the Shadow Ball. Or sorry, Shadow Sneak. So it gets a Moxie boost, but that's fine. Life Orb confirms you're not Choice Scarf. My Dragon comes out. Now I can just Dark Pulse and Sludge Bomb, and I think that should be enough for a KO. This thing isn't exactly the fastest Pokemon either. So Dark Pulse. And Sludge Bomb. Yeah, Sludge Bomb's stronger. No need to risk an Icy Wind miss. Don't want to reveal that information either. And yeah, both outspeed and KO. I think the main thing here was just having a good speed control advantage. And like Gengar early on put on a lot of pressure into Sylveon. So yeah, the Tailwinds were interesting. But we essentially were able to outpace them because of our Tailwind, which was nice. And like essentially the Kilowattrel was able to match the Tailwind, but our Pokemon were generally faster because Garchomp ended up not coming out in this matchup. And so yeah, Garchomp, Orthworm, I think, you know, are obviously adjustments that can be made. I'm not sure they're really that strong here, though. I don't really know what Orthworm wants to accomplish either, so that's one of the big question marks. But yeah, let's keep things going. Okay, so we know the Kilowattrel moveset. We know that the Cyberledge on the opposing end also is not like Assault Vested, for example, but it can survive a Life Orb Draco Meteor from Hydreigon. I feel like Goldengo would have been pretty solid as a lead in that last one, honestly. So I'm wondering if I can actually go like Murkrow Goldengo, because Make It Rain is just so strong. Sylveon could defensively Terra though, but I don't know. It's definitely an option worth considering. I also think we don't necessarily need to lead Murkrow. Is there any way I can snipe Kilowattrel? No. Like, I have extreme speed, but that's not really going to help. Moxie flying Quaquaval with Brave Bird. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Murkrow Golden Go lead. I think Kilowattrel plus the Ceruledge lead from their end is what makes this interesting. But I led Gengar previously, so I don't know if you feel confident against that. Feels a little bit weird to drop Gengar, though, I will say. Murkrow, Golden Go, Ceruledge, Hydreigon. I want to give Golden Go a shot here. I think the Orthworm stuff becomes really interesting here, though. But I guess I could always just Haunt it, right? Alright, we'll give Golden Gun a shot. Although, I don't think he's going to lead the same thing again, to be honest. Like, what are adjustments he could make? Ceruledge lead becomes really interesting, because then you could consider Terroring immediately into Golden Go. But then if I could get his early Terror out, I think that gives me an advantage later on. I just want to try out something new here. It's going to be Orthworm, okay. So, two things to maybe expect here. Iron Defense, Body Press, or Shed Tail. I wonder if it's Mental Herb. I think that's one of my big questions. I do have Choice Specs Focus Blast. It's a little bit risky, but I'm not going to lie. I think if there's any time to go for it, honestly, is here. No? Specs Focus Blast into Tailwind. Or Taunt. But I think getting early Tailwind is important, because otherwise Kilowattrel actually does outpace me. Okay, no Protect or Terra. Let's see if Specs Focus Blast can hit here. No! Oh, that's so sad. I don't mind playing like that, though, because if I get it off on turn 1, I feel like I am in crazy good shape. And I wanted to cover for the potential... I guess I could have just gone for Shadow Ball, though, you know. Like, because the two sets are really going to be Shed Tail or the Iron Defense Body Press stuff. Oh, Quaquaval comes out now. Okay. Tailwinds are matched. You can Thunderbolt into this slot. This thing is looking pretty scary now. I mean, I should switch, but I honestly really need to break this sub right now. Yeah. Like, I think that trade is worth it on turn 1 if I hit the Focus Blast. I don't regret it, but I think Shadow Ball may have just been the more consistent option, because it would be pretty good into the Iron Defense and the Iron Defense and the Shed Tail sets. But that's okay. Yeah, honestly, I think I do want to break the sub here pretty aggressively. So I'm going to Foul Play and Focus Blast. Kilowattrel Thunderbolts into Murkrow. We survive. It's going to be Aqua Step. I think Quaquaval might... It's looking really good in terms of sweeping potential right now, because it's going to get a speed and an attack boost here. Thanks to Moxie. Focus Blast hits this time around, okay. Substitute Fades. The speed boost is a really big problem though, right? Because flying coverage here is just looking really good, and being choice locked into Focus Blast doesn't do me any favors here. So yeah, the way he managed speed control here was very, very nice, I think. I think Dragonite could be an interesting adjustment going into the next game because of priority. Alright, I'm going to Ceruledge. I think this turn is really interesting in terms of Terra dynamics. Like, I suppose Water... What's the last Pokemon? Because I'm thinking we could still win with Focus Splash plus Hydreigon in this endgame. You're at +1 attack, +1 speed. If I Terra into Grass, you could just Brave Bird me. But this could also just Air Slash me. Air Slash and Aqua Step double up into Ceruledge seems like the play, maybe. Yeah. Missing that turn 1 was a gamble, but one I think worth taking. I'm going to double up Shadow Sneak and Focus Blast here. I don't even know if Focus Blast KOs, but we'll see. He didn't go for a Terra. Thunderbolt. Okay. Onto Golden Go. Does less than half. Ooh, Aqua Step double up and a Golden Go. Okay. And that is going to get the knockout. So, really well positioned Quaquaval here. It looks so funny dancing around as well. Very cool. Bring out Hydreigon. I don't really see too much of an out here, though, given that we don't have Protect on the Ceruledge. This is at +2. If I were him, I would just... Oh, you know what the out is? I think it's missing Air Slash from Kilowattrel. Yeah, I think I have to play towards that. Like, basically, hope... You could just Brave Bird here, though. Brave Bird Thunderbolt on Ceruledge covers every option, actually. Yeah, I actually can't beat that. So, basically, you have to hope for a misstep here, like Air Slash plus, like, Aqua Step, turn into Grass, and Air Slash misses. I think that's my only chance here. So, I'm just going to Dark Pulse. Terra. Hope for an Air Slash miss. And Terra Blast. But I think the right play here is just Quaquaval Terra and Brave Bird. But there's no Quaquaval Terra. Okay, maybe this is still possible. I should have just gone for Shadow Ball over Focus Blast. I just really wanted to get Specs Focus Blast off because I thought, hey, maybe there's a chance to just get a one-hit KO. And if we get that one-hit KO, like, I think I'm in a really, really good spot. Okay, Quaquaval reveals Detect. So, it's a nice play. Air Slash and a Hydreigon. Makes sense. The problem is now a Brave Bird will just KO me, and I don't have Protect on the Armarouge. Yeah, without Protect now, you just Terra, Brave Bird, guarantee the KO. So, I mean, I can get a double knockout here with Dark Pulse plus Shadow Sneak. Kilowattrel should Protect, Quaquaval should Terra, and then target Ceruledge. I need to start thinking about how I want to approach Game 3, because I think the Orthworm was really interesting. I maybe should have just gone for Taunt onto it on turn 1 to confirm whether or not it's, like, Mental Herb. Because that would have helped me out a lot. We do also have Heat Wave on Hydreigon, so a lead to consider the next game is Murkrow plus the Hydreigon as the lead. Because I can pressure Tailwind Heat Wave there immediately, which doesn't seem terrible. No Terra, just Brave Bird. Yeah, that makes sense. No need to consume the Terra, actually, because you have... That way you can just Terra what you potentially have in the back, right? Okay. And I got a little bit lucky on game 1 with the Air Slash miss, right? And then not getting a double Protect, so I feel like a Focus Blast miss only feels fair. Okay. This Pokemon's really interesting, though, right? Like, the combination of Moxie plus its signature attack... plus the way speed control was handled in this game was very interesting. Makes me think about maybe going back to Gengar in the next game. Orthworm. What was the final one? Garchomp? Yeah. So I presume Garchomp should just outspeed here, but if for some reason it's slower, we can still win. Yeah, it's faster. Outspeeds, gets Dragon Claw off. That's going to be a KO. Okay. So I think like the speed dynamics is just what makes this so interesting. I maybe do want to consider taunting with Murkrow on turn 1 then into Kilowattrel. Because if I could deny Tailwind, that's a really big deal. Like, I'm thinking Murkrow Hydreigon as the lead to go into for this third game. What's interesting is if Sylveon comes back, but I really don't think he's going to want to lead Sylveon again, given that I led Gengar and Golden Goal in those subsequent 2 games. So, yeah, I think that's the adjustment I'm going to make for game 3. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I think I want to go Hydreigon plus Murkrow here. Because this is Heat Wave. I feel like I should just be using Hydreigon more, honestly. Because this thing under Tailwind's an absolute beast. And I think we've scared away Sylveon with our leads, hopefully. Garchomp in the back. I haven't really brought Dragonite out. I just don't think it's really that good. The Assault Vest isn't that valuable, given that their team is primarily physical. Gengar is interesting. It's like actually decent offense, and it outpaces most things. So maybe I drop Golden Go, because I feel like being specs locked in that last game was pretty rough. So I might go Murkrow Hydreigon lead with Ceruledge and Gengar in the back. Because I feel like Hydreigon is just the best Pokemon in this matchup. That's what the last games have shown me. So if he goes with the Kilowattrel and Orthworm again, like, Wolfe's obviously so good that it's hard for me to see him going for that again, especially because he knows that I have the Focus Blast potential as well. But I think Hydreigon here actually just covers for most options anyway, so I don't mind going for it. Mainly curious on the last attack on the Quaquaval. Oh, wow, it is an adjustment back to Sylveon, though. Okay, that's really interesting. That does kind of force an early Terra out of Hydreigon, which is not ideal, I would say. It's probably going to be the Thunderbolt plus Hyper Voice combination again, if I had to guess. But I can just Terra here, Heat Wave, so then it denies them Tailwind, and then Gengar can come out, Sludge Bomb, Dark Pulse. I think that's the play. So we're going to Terra here, we're going to Heat Wave, and we are just going to set up our own Tailwind. Very interesting to go back to Sylveon. I wonder if he read into me adjusting into Hydreigon here, because Golden Go lead here would have been pretty good, right? But Fire, Terra, Hydreigon here helps defensively against Sylveon. I don't love committing my Terra this early on, but I think it's actually kind of necessary given the leads. Okay. We'll just get Heat Wave off here. Oh, that's so much damage into Kilowattrel, and we crit Sylveon, which is really lucky. Yeah, smartly done. This time he just goes for Tailwind. So the debate on turn 1 is, like, do I want to consider taunting, for example? Hyper Voice is just going to come out. Murkrow survives. Would have preferred Murkrow to faint there, honestly, but that's fine. Okay. I mean, I think I want to protect here. Protect Foul Play into Kilowattrel doesn't seem terrible. Kilowattrel probably KOs Murkrow here, but then I get a free switch in into Ceruledge, which is what I'm looking for. This is probably like the game 1 mode again, right? Yep, Thunderbolt. So now I get a free switch in into Ceruledge. This is where the game becomes really interesting, I think. And Yawn from Sylveon. Yeah, that makes sense. I could go into Gengar, but I think conserving Focus Sash right now is too important. Ceruledge is a fairly easy switch in. I think the debate here is, like, Shadow Sneak and KO Kilowattrel. Kilowattrel could obviously protect. I honestly don't think it's going to protect here, though. Or I could just go for Heat Wave here and then sneak into Sylveon. But I could see Sylveon protecting, Kilowattrel just going for Thunderbolt onto Ceruledge to bring in their Ceruledge. I guess why not consider, like, Dark Pulse here? And just Bitter Blade? Okay, it's just Air Slash. We get crit. No flinch, though. Okay. So kill Kilowattrel. That crit hurts a decent amount, though. Especially because I committed my Terra so early on. I do survive with 4. We are faster. We get Bitter Blade off onto Sylveon. That's a KO. Okay. Whew, this is an intense game for sure. I really didn't expect to see the Sylveon come back in Game 3, but very cool and very well done. Because, yeah, like, it's interesting he basically figured I wouldn't go back to Golden Go. Oh, it's Garchomp. Okay. Gengar with Icy Wind in the back is going to be really crucial, but, like, essentially, do I just lose my Pokemon here? You could obviously just Dragon Claw, Terra this, and then Terra flying into Ceruledge. The play might be to switch Ceruledge out then because I have Icy Wind. Oh, I can't Terra actually, so it should just go for the water attack onto here. Yeah, I think Quaquaval's too well positioned right now. Protect. I went for Bulk Up. I don't think that's the right play, though. No Terra, though. Okay. Yeah, there's Dragon Claw. Yeah, it's just Aqua Step. I assume this KOs, but let's see. Oh, it does. Okay. I don't know how I could have played... I could have pivoted out into Gengar there, maybe. The problem is the speed control here. Tailwind Peter's out. We get Gengar out. You have the speed boost now, but... so the play for him is to Aqua Step Hydreigon, I think. And then just Dragon Claw Gengar. And so my play in response is hope to get a double protect right now. Ooh, double protect Hypnosis is the play here, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. He could double up on a Gengar, but I don't think he's going to risk that. Because then if I hit Hypnosis, I can just Icy Wind. Yeah. We need the double and to hit Hypnosis, though, so it's not looking too great. It's going to be a Terra here. Okay. Terra Garchomp. Defensive? Ground. Yeah, that makes sense. Not as weak to Draco Meteor Icy Wind now. Okay. Hydreigon doesn't get the double, so that makes our odds of winning much slimmer now. Yep, it was Aqua Step there. Found the play in the end, though, so I honestly don't feel that bad about it. Because I think if we actually get the double and hit Hypnosis, we just win the game immediately. Because I can then just Icy Wind Draco the next turn. So it was a really close set. And yeah, I think the main thing here is Quaquaval's ability to boost its speed while also getting... like, it was very well positioned to get these knockouts in the end game. Oh, wait. We could still win off Cursed Body activating right now. Can we even actually? Because even if it were to activate, Struggle still just KOs, right? It doesn't activate anyway. Okay. Well, that was a really, really fun set. Is there any way in which I can win this? I don't even think a Shadow Ball crit KOs, to be honest. Oh, actually, because we have Hypnosis, yeah, it's still winnable. We would just need, like, a lot of sleep turns here. Okay, so Quaquaval takes turn 1 of sleep. Gengar does hit. This is pretty intense. I would need max sleep turns in order to win here, for sure. We're going to go for Sludge Bomb now. But yeah, this is where you can see if I actually got the double protect off, then Icy Wind. Quaquaval just wakes up, though. Okay. Aqua Step comes out. That was a really fun set, though. I am really impressed by the foresight to go back to Sylveon there after I led Gengar and Golden Go, and I felt like I had a pretty good lead in both games. And then one critical play in this game was the adjustment to go back into the Tailwind on turn 1 rather than just, or not go back to, just Tailwind on turn 1 rather than just trying to KO the Murkrow immediately. So yeah, I'm trying to think where I could have improved my play. The problem was I got pinned because I had to commit my Terra to Hydreigon early. Golden Goal lead in that game would have actually ended up working out excellent for us. I don't really love Dragonite in that matchup in general. Gengar could have been okay as well, because, like, I think if we had Gengar out on the field, I could pressure Icy Wind. I just, like, didn't love the idea of having it against, like, the Orthworm that we had seen previously, but since this had access to Hypnosis, like, maybe it would have been fine to bring. So we definitely had the tools to win games 2 and 3. I think game 2, obviously, it stung that we missed the Focus Blast, but like I said, I could have committed a Shadow Ball instead, and that would have been just more consistent overall. And in game 3, I think, like, what essentially was the problem was picking up a double knockout, allowing 2 free switch-ins into Quaquaval, plus the Garchomp. So I wonder if I actually had the opportunity to maybe consider going for Bulk Up instead with Ceruledge, but I think game 3 I was playing from behind because I had to commit my Terra to Hydreigon early. One play I could have done differently was read into Kilowattrel going for Tailwind on turn 1, taunt that slot into Heat Wave, then my Tailwind Heat Wave puts me in a really good spot. Because basically in order to win this game, Quaquaval needs to be positioned so that it gets a speed boost while also getting a KO. And so, because it was flying Quaquaval as well, it means that the matchup into Ceruledge was also super interesting. But that was a really fun best of 3. I feel like, you know, we both made some interesting adjustments and went back and forth. And so, yeah. So a couple of interesting things in reflecting in that set. First of all, it was a really fun set, and I actually talked to Wolfe afterwards, and I was like, oh, I was surprised you brought Sylveon as a lead again in Game 3. And he said, well, I had Fire Terra Sylveon, so as a result, I figured even if you went with Golden Go once again, I could just Fire Terra Blast you. And it's interesting because without me having seen Sylveon's Terra, it kind of made me eliminate it as an option a little bit more. But because of Fire Terra, it changes the dynamic completely, which I think makes things super, super interesting to me. I also think that in Game 3, I made things harder for myself by bringing out the Ceruledge first. I think Gengar should have come out first because Gengar would have been able to pressure Sylveon for a knockout with Sludge Bomb. And more importantly, I needed to consider the dynamic of the speed a little bit more in that game. Essentially, like, especially after Game 2, his Clear Coquable could just, like, snowball really quickly between Aqua Step and Moxie. And so if Gengar hits the field, at least I can get an Icy Wind off. And Icy Wind is so, so crucial, especially given that there was the Banded Garchomp plus the Coquable in the end. So if Gengar had come out instead, I would have been able to, for example, pressure with the knockout. The problem for me was that I didn't know what Wolfe had in the back. So I didn't bring out Gengar because I was worried, like, he had Ceruledge in the back, like Game 1, for example. If Ceruledge is in the back, then the, you know, Kilowattrel, for example, can pressure me with an Air Slash or Thunderbolt into the Gengar slot, and then the Ceruledge can just come out and then Shadow Sneak me, and I don't have Protect on that set. And so that was the logic in bringing out the Ceruledge on my side out first, but I think if Gengar had come out first, it would have put me into a much better position, because Gengar would have outsped the Sylveon, it would have outsped the Garchomp, and the Coquable would have been able to control speed via Icy Wind against all of them, and getting an Icy Wind speed drop is really important, because essentially, as we saw in Game 1, one major advantage that I have in this matchup is that my Pokemon are generally faster than Coquable before it gets the speed boost off. And so Icy Wind can mitigate a potential speed boost that it gets. But yeah, I think that was really interesting. And I think like Terra best of 3 is something like that was actually my first best of 3 in Scarlet and Violet in game. And I think I definitely learned a lot in terms of, oh, how can I consider Terra? I feel like I didn't do a good job of that in team preview in Game 3 and started behind in Game 3 essentially because I had to commit my Terra onto Hydreigon just as a defensive option, which definitely didn't feel great because, you know, you reveal your hand kind of a little bit earlier. And so, yeah, you know, it's always really good to just reflect win or lose on your battles, and I think there was a lot to be gained from that third game especially. Game 2 is interesting once again, like, you know, I risked the Focus Blast. I don't really regret it, because, like, when you're up in a best of 3 like that, and you have a 70% chance to just, like, take an immediate lead and potentially just snowball the game into a victory, I think it's totally worth it, so I don't regret it. I do think, like, the lead considerations could have been interesting. I never used Taunt in that set as well, and so that's something I should have considered, because I think, yeah, Wolfe actually was thinking maybe you don't even have Taunt on the Murkrow, given that you didn't go for it on Earthworm or on the Kilowattrel in any of the games, and so I should have thought a little bit harder about turn 1 in Game 3 as well. But the way I saw it is if I called it incorrectly and Murkrow goes down, it's super bad for me, because then he can just get up speed control, and then I just lose the game immediately. But given that I hadn't revealed Taunt at all thus far, and he, you know, clearly realized the importance of speed control, definitely something I could have given some more thought to. But yeah, I always love playing Wolfe in best of 3s, and I think, you know, like I said, this was my very first one in game, and so I learned a lot of valuable knowledge about how to really approach best of 3s in Scarlet and Violet as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this fun exhibition set. It was really cool to feature some of these brand new Scarlet Violet Pokemon like the Golden Go, like the Ceruledge, and of course like the Coquable as well. So appreciate you all as always for watching. Huge thank you to Wolfe for battling, and I'll see you all soon. All right, peace.